Hello and welcome to Don't Ask Me Shit, the podcast where we stop pretending, we stop sugarcoating, and we stop dancing around the real issues. I'm Coach Dory, your stress management and relationship recovery coach, and I'm here to help you heal from toxic family, friends, and romantic partners. This is the place for the conversations that people avoid. You know the ones: relationships, accountability, self-sabotage, healing, boundaries, and all the messy stuff that people do not want to talk about. But here's the deal. You can ask Coach Dory anything, but if you're not ready to do the work, don't ask me shit because I am not here to co-sign your excuses. I am here to help you grow. So with that being said, let's get into it. Today we have a special guest, John Zell. He is a licensed therapist by trade and believes in the power of storytelling to heal, imagine, disrupt, and inspire. His writing focuses on mental health, race, relationships, and identity. Today, we're going to talk about his debut book, Mixtape, a memoir. He's also an avid reader. He reads approximately 100 books annually. And he can tell you how he does that because most people aren't going to pick up two or three. And he right now he resides in Virginia with his daughter and a energetic shepherdor. What's a shepherdor? That's like a shepherd
German
pony.
Shepherd mixed with a lab.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I have a giant cup of coffee here. Also, I love the premise of the intro to your show, where it's like, if you're not with the accountability and you got excuses, don't ask me shit. Because we live in a world where a lot of people are allergic to accountability. And so I love that you just from the jump say, "Hey, I'm not for you if you want that."
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I'm
Keep
with
it
it.
moving. And so, and with that being said, too, you've got a lot to share. Sounds like that you've accepted accountability in your own life for things, but you also don't mind telling the
Mm-mm.
story about you gonna hold other people accountable too, right?
You're
And so, speaking of that, then let's talk a little bit about your book. I love the concept of it. You mentioned that you were biracial. So when
hmm
you first said it, it's like, oh, is this a story about just, growing up mixed race in this world? But how you took it and it's like a play on the words, and
hmm
yet putting everything else in there is so cool. So can you tell me a little bit about your the toxic dynamics of your upbringing?
Yeah. So you're correct. The title of the book is double meaning because mixtape is, we all know what a mixtape is. You make a playlist that has a theme, right? So
Mm,
I based the book around a real playlist that there are the QR codes that you can listen along as you read the book.
mm,
And they resonate with me telling my own story, but also the word mixtape has mixed in it, the first four letters, and that's what they called me growing up. Mixed race, mixed. So, as far as the toxic dynamics, I'll preface this by telling listeners that my book isn't like just trauma after trauma. I like to integrate all aspects of my personality in here.
mhm.
I joke that my alter ego is a comedian, a DJ, a part-time assassin, and a librarian.
Oh my.
So no follow-up questions will be answered here, but it's humorous, it's real. There is trauma, there is adversity, but it's not like a typical like um, it started off bad and now I figured it all out and here's your 10 steps on how to do it too kind of thing. It's not self-help. And even though I'm a therapist, I don't write like a therapist. So it my goal was for the reader to feel like um, you're talking with a friend and I'm inviting you into my world. But to answer your question, uh, the bullet points of some of those adversities. First of all, my first racists were my white caregivers, and
Mm,
that's not a typical thing that you would expect to hear from a mixed race person. Um, and then,
mm.
of course, we have the. I think we can cuss here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't
Okay,
ask us shit. We can
so
do what we want.
yeah, okay. So the father, the nigga wasn't shit, and on the back of the book says disengage, but deadbeat. And so there's that dynamic, and then there's also, well, I'm black, but I'm being raised in whiteness. So there's racism, there's colorism, there's ignorance, there's abuse there, and all the types of abuse, and then there's bullying, there is miseducation, there is poverty, there is you know, all sorts of things. And, but then you're still existing and you're still trying to grow up with everybody else. It's the 90s, right? But at the same time, there's the anchors. There's a sense of hope that I'm going to figure this out. There's hope that comes from being a reader as a kid. There's hope that comes from having, music videos and the radio. There there are things that anchored in. It's almost like nostalgic,
Hmm.
and you see me working through the stuff, but then um, you know, the definition of me is not what I've been through. It is portraying my ability to take aspects of what was left behind
Hmm.
and to craft it into something useful for me and for those that I interact with. So,
Right, because in your bio you wrote from trauma to triumph. So
mhm.
at what age, when did you start realizing this is gonna sound weird, the beauty in the trauma?
Mm. I really, this is going to sound strange because I'm 33, about to be
Okay.
34. I know for a fact that the most significant shift in really walking in freedom happened when I
Hmm.
was 31.
Okay.
And it was shortly after I went to West Africa for the first time.
Okay.
Um, and since then, it's been unapologetic freedom. I'm not playing about my peace. I'm not playing about my joy. And um, you can fuck around, but you most certainly will find out.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
build people up for a living as a therapist, but a superpower that they don't know is that I can tear a bitch down to the studs. So, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the old me, the one who was a people pleaser. I'm not with that anymore.
Right. Yeah, that person's got to go. That person
Mm,
keeps you stuck all the time.
hmm
Yeah. So, but what made you go to West Africa? 'Cause I think your father was from West Africa, and I found it very interesting that when we have a lot of times, and I guess it's a way for some of us to avoid when we have um toxic relationship dynamics with different people, we really don't always even want to care where they come from. But you
mm.
took this opportunity to go back and find out, those parts of your roots. What made you decide to go ahead and do that, even though you could care less about dad right now?
Mm.
If that's fair
And I
for me to
still
say
couldn't
it
care
that way.
less.
Right.
So I co-signed that. The interesting thing about me is that I have a defiant spirit,
Hmm.
um, and and I like that about me.
Hmm.
Um, so when I went to West Africa, I didn't, even though I know that my father immigrated from Sierra Leone, I didn't go to Sierra Leone
Oh,
at
okay.
first. I went to Ghana 2 years in a row, and
Hmm.
um, I knew he was from Sierra Leone. Ghana is a whole different country than Sierra Leone and West
Hmm.
Africa, but I went there to make my own connection with the continent.
Hmm.
Um, and then on my third trip to West Africa on the third year, I went to Sierra Leone first and then went back to Ghana again after that. So the reason I went to West Africa, I learned this when I was there, but in Ghana, they have the Adinkra symbols, and there's one that really resonated with me. It's called Sankofa,
Hmm.
and it means to go back and get it. So you got to remember, I've experienced a coming of age in Southwest Virginia, uh, raised in whiteness, but I'm black.
Hmm.
My blackness being muted and villainized in many different ways. My Africanness being muted, and and all of that. And then I become an adult, and I realized that between the abuse, the neglect, the racism, and all of this other stuff, that there are holes and gaps in my identity that I could say should have been shown to me, but they weren't. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the two people that created me didn't do their job.
Right.
So it was up to me to um, do that work. And my 20s were a lot of unlearning.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a section in the book called Unlearning, which comes after the section of miseducation,
Mm-hmm.
loosely related to the miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Right.
And so um, I went there, and like I said, the Sankofa, go back and get it. And, you know, I was in the middle of writing this book when I went to Ghana for the first time. And what I realized was I'm going back through my own story and getting these memories and telling it, but also in the conclusion, it wasn't a happily ever after. It was a I'm still learning and I'm going to keep exploring. And so Ghana to me is my chosen spot in West
Mm-hmm.
Africa. Um, so much respect and love for the experiences I've had there. The last time I went to West Africa was in December, and I went to Sierra Leone for a few days. But the thing that was different this time was in 2025, I was blindsided by a separation after being
Mm-hmm.
married and together with this person for 9 years. So I took my daughter with me for the first time.
Okay.
And so the cool thing was my daughter's sixth birthday happened while we were in Sierra Leone. And I took my kid to the place where my father immigrated from. I took my kid to the place that my father, who is from there, never took me to.
Mm-hmm.
I showed her a homeland that I didn't get access to from where I should have, but I was able to do it on my own. So I don't necessarily need those who created me to show me. I can do it myself. And the great thing about this journey of writing this book and also in being a parent now is that my daughter, if I'm doing, quite frankly, just the opposite of what my parents did,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
will not have to worry about where do I come from. The dedication of this book is to my daughter. And it's like, I wrote this, I'm paraphrasing here, but I wrote this so that you don't have to wonder where I come from.
Wow.
When you could pick this up someday and read, you know, where I come from. And more than that, from a young age, she gets to see my dad will take me places, whether it be through a book, whether it be through music, whether it be through getting on a plane and going somewhere. Um, and she won't have to question her identity as much, especially as a mixed race Black girl herself.
Right.
Um, and you know, having grown up in that myself, I know what to look for. And her experience may not be seamless, but she has someone who can understand her in that way. And that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I tell my kids all the time that every situation in dealing with their parents, you have one of two choices. You can either learn from what we do, or you can do the opposite of what we do. And a lot of times people don't realize they sit in their excuses. Well, this is what my mother said. This is how my father raised me. This is how I am. But you can break those generational dynamics by
mhm.
just investing the time and doing what hurt you. Let's flip it. Let's see if we can do this differently. And I love that to hear you saying that at such a young age that you're already breaking those curses for your daughter and allowing her to grow up in the freedom of knowing you and the joy of just knowing you is awesome. As the more I learn about my parents now at 53, I appreciate them more,
You
but
are
they
not
never.
53,
I am 53. I'm 53 and
girl.
a half. I will be 54 in a couple of
Hey,
months.
good
Hey.
black does not crack at all.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. So, but I love hearing it. I love hearing, especially daddy daughter stories too.
Girl
A lot
dad
of a lot of dads get a bad rep for not being there for their daughters. People
niggas.
ignore the mother wounds because there's a lot of those too. Pay attention to how many serial killers actually have issues with their mamas. Okay. All right. So it's a lot of that going on, but I just love you sharing that. Um, I had another thought going back. We just talked about the family dynamics. You also mentioned bullying. What kind of
Mm,
bullying you experienced through school? And I actually listened to one of your YouTube tapes that you were sharing some things um
mm,
about, I think, bullying and body shaming, and how you played a
yeah.
role, how you actually played a role in it. You accepted, you agreed with your bully.
Oh, yeah, I kind of internalized it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how
Um,
it's the one with the booty thing. The booty.
oh, oh, bootylicious,
Yes,
bootylicious.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So my
Yeah.
so-called friend in high school, there was this. You're gonna have to read the book to get the whole story, but
Yeah.
basically, there's this medieval festival, and what they did was this is senior year of high school, and they do this medieval dance competition, and
Mhm.
so you have like some medieval type music, and then it usually mixes to something more contemporary. And so
Right.
my class chose the song "Bootylicious" by Destiny's Child, and they were trying to like pick who would be the king and the queen and the different whoop de whoops for the medieval festival. And um, the person who was expected to be the king kind of tapped out when he heard that the song was going to be Bootylicious because,
Right.
coward. And my so-called friend, when they were trying to find another king, they were like, have John Zell do it. He has a fat ass. So apparently that makes me qualified to dance to Bootylicious, even though I'm shy and I'm
Right.
insecure and all these other things.
Right.
Boom. So peer pressure, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward, the dance competition happens. The word bootylicious is quite literally written across my ass, and I drop it low in the middle of the dance competition, and we won. Right.
Yeah.
So I leaned into it. However, the thing of how people perceive me um, was something that it took me a while to start to have a voice in which someone can say something about me and I stand up for myself. Because you could have done the same thing but kinder.
Right.
But going back to bullying, I mean, like I said, bullying started in the home.
Mm.
They say education starts at home, but that wasn't my experience. I don't think they ever read me a book, but
Right.
um, uh, the bullying started at home, whether it was making fun of the fact that I had an African father as if I was the one who chose to reproduce with that man. We can't say that because, accountability.
Right.
And then, my brother physically, emotionally, and I also dealt with, being molested at a young age and things like that. But tease about being chubby, which honestly, I
Mm.
included a photo of myself as a young child in the book. I'm looking at
Uh-huh.
myself holding my teddy bear and I'm like, where was the fat?
Right.
Because, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know I was called heavy and fat boy and all these other things, but I'm looking at that picture, I'm like, I'm not fat. Now, I
Right.
did become chubbier as I got older and things like that, but it was between that, but then amongst my peers at school, I wasn't into the stereotypical guy things. Like, I didn't give a
Mm.
damn about a football, about wrestling was really big, and I'm like, that shit's fake. And you
Right.
couldn't say that at school because, of course, it was real to
Right.
them. And so I didn't care about that stuff. So I was like artistic. I like to draw and color and imagine and make things. I was very much into music. I was, pop culture, reading, and all of that. And none of my peers like that. So naturally, with someone with a limited vocabulary that doesn't read, the default is that you're gay. If you're not into guy things, you're gay.
Right.
Now, not that it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, but there's a very light coming out in the book of being bisexual. But really, I their their assumption of that was really just in limited vocabulary. But it was we're going to make fun of somebody who's not the same. So
Right.
if you don't conform to what we expect of you, then you can be excluded. So um, yeah, bullying. It. between at home and then in with peer situations and stuff like that, it was really a all of these different things led me to be like, I'm not understood, I'm not liked, I'm not loved, I'm not wanted.
Hmm.
And a person can go one of two ways with that. They can like lean into it and give up, or they can overcome. And my story isn't linear in that it's like, well, I'm going to overcome and I'm going to be unapologetic and I'm going to, it was two steps forward, one step back. Like it
Right.
wasn't like that. And I show that messiness. Like on one hand, I can be peer pressured and bullied into doing something, but then also, I can do that, and I can show up and do well with something, right?
Right.
And so, um, yeah, I will never give credit to someone who's a bully and that, oh, because of that, because people, some simple people be like, oh, well, bullying builds character. I beg your
Mm,
finest pardon.
yeah.
Um, so like me being who I am today and being able to take my stories and be like humorous and creative and dynamic and unapologetic and all of these things, I don't give a drop of credit to anybody who harmed me. Be glad I
Right.
changed your names in the book because if you didn't want to be written about, you should have behaved better. But
Right.
but I don't give credit to those who caused me harm because when you did it, you didn't intend for me to grow from it.
Right.
You thought you were going to break me down to make yourself temporarily feel better,
Right.
but I was able to use it to continue to unlearn and to overcome. And furthermore, a lot of my ops who had
Hmm.
shit to say, they
Hmm.
have been eating and they have been spreading. Okay.
Mm.
And I got hotter with age.
Right.
So do what you may with that information. I know it's a low blow, but I did
Hot
not
body
peak in high school.
revenge.
I did not peak in high school. Okay. Hotter than I've ever been in my entire life.
Right. And that's interesting that you say because you actually owned that was your power to heal from that. Too many
Mm,
people don't heal from their bullies and the things that they've done. So yeah, I agree with you not giving them credit. They didn't deserve the credit,
mm.
right? So with that being said, also you mentioned that you colored and you wrote. So have you always been artistic in what you did or
I would say that I've always been imaginative,
okay.
um, possibly as a dissociation.
Mm,
Um, that's why I think folks who have read my book, they're like, this doesn't seem like somebody's debut book. Y'all don't
mm,
understand. I've been in my head imagining alternative like endings and playing a soundtrack to my life and pretending I was in a movie since I could remember. Right. So to be
right.
able to do like a cinematic, like kind of retelling of something, it's not like I just came out of nowhere with this, right?
Right.
And I say it's possible dissociation because if I didn't have my books and my music and my uh, creativity and imagination, all that would have been left was the trauma. I would have
Yeah.
had to sit in that and I would have given up, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so, you read my bio about, using storytelling to heal, disrupt, imagine, all of that
Mhm.
stuff. Uh, as someone who's benefited from those aspects of literature and stories, I already know that that's my mission in creating my own stories is to make other people feel that way,
Mm.
inspired and something to resonate with and to have hope. So yeah, and the medium changes. Like it could be writing, like this book is prose.
Mhm.
But I'm writing poetry. I'm working on a children's book. I'm currently
Mm.
working on a novel. I've had a podcast in the past. I've been a blogger. I get creative with things that I post on social media. So uh, creativity is an extension of existing.
Mhm.
Um, so I would say that it's always been there, but I'm really in the pocket right now. Like
Yeah.
uh, knowing that creativity isn't just something that I could do; it's just something that is an outflow of who I've become.
Right. So has it always been easy for you to express um what you're dealing with, express your trauma and things? It hasn't.
No, and I think you'll see this in the book, um, because the powers that be were uh, their modeling was don't say nothing,
Yeah.
keep your mouth shut, be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
Mm.
You're expecting too much. Lower your standards.
Yeah.
Uh, you being who you want to be intimidates me, and so I'm going to other you, right? And that's across the board between the adults, the caregivers, the I had teachers who were bullies, I had peers who were bullies, I had, you know, and expressing myself, even, that example of the bootylicious thing, that's senior year of high school.
Okay.
That same quote friend stuck around for a few years after high school. Um, and she didn't change much. But, you know, speaking up for myself didn't come naturally because most of my formative years were silencing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the back of the book, the phrase the sound and the silence of survival, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, now I'm in a more unapologetic. Um, I believe that if you speak your truth without being an asshole, rules
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2, then rule number 3 is you're not responsible for how they react. If I
Mm.
told my truth without being an asshole, of course that's subjective.
Right.
Um, then I'm not responsible for how you react, right? And so uh, that has, remember, I told you how I'm walking in freedom. That
Yeah.
right there has been a pretty good guide for me
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm not going to say anybody who doesn't have the same assertiveness or boldness that I do. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't come out of nowhere. It really came from I'm tired of sparing people's feelings. I'm tired of setting myself on fire to keep other people warm,
Right.
Um, and so then it's like, okay, y'all don't like me anyway. So I'd rather be hated than inconvenienced now.
Right.
So go on and hate me, but make sure that when you call me a bitch, don't call me a broke bitch.
Right.
And make sure I'm a bad bitch, but go on and call me a bitch. It's fine. It will
Right.
not affect my bank account at all. And I'm over here
Right.
with peace and joy. But no, now I speak the truth and I try not to be an asshole. And then I let go of responsibility or being too tapped into how people take it, um, because that's not my thing. That'd be like trying to keep up with, oh, does so and so like me? I spent too many years trying to not even to get people to like me, but just not to hate me or to allow me to exist. I'm
Right.
tired. I'm tired of that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna gravitate to people who want me around. And this book is about learning about reciprocity in relationships. And I can clock reciprocity really quick, and I
Right.
can clock mediocrity really quick. I
Mm.
can clock a person who's avoidant really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And my truth often intimidates. And then they want to be like, oh, well, you're too much or you're doing too much. Go find less. It's
Yeah.
okay. Go keep doing what you're doing. Go find less. I'll be
Right.
all right.
Right.
Because you want me to shrink myself. I'm 6'5". Ain't no shrinking happening.
Wow.
Yeah. And it can't be arrogance because I have a crippling anxiety disorder. Could never be a narcissist if I tried because I ruminate. Okay.
Right.
So I know it's real. I know
Right.
it's genuine.
Right.
So,
Wow. I love that for you, for real. I mean, because a lot of us, like I said, I'm 53. I'm probably just now getting to that point in the last 3 years myself. And so
mm,
you've got 20 years of freedom ahead of you. And
hmm
I'm glad that you just mentioned too that you have these other things. It's not always easy to
mm-mm.
walk in that freedom. You have things your self wants to hold you back. Self-sabotage
Yeah.
sits right there all the
Yep.
time, but you're making choices to move beyond that and not allow that to be your story.
Mm.
I appreciate that message very much. So this mixtape, this book that
Hmm.
I am definitely going to get because I've been told that it is an audible audio also, and
Hmm.
I'm getting it.
Narrated by the author.
Oh my goodness. I have a friend that she did spoken word, but I would never read her book because I know I can't read it the way that she does it. And it's like, well, if you just
Mm.
read them for me, this would be great because I'm just going to read
Yeah,
it flat. So, narrated by the author. That is
yeah.
awesome. So, how many chapters? You said it's mixed, it's got tracks
So
of.
it's got let me see. I think it's 30. Don't have me lying now. It has 36 tracks.
Okay.
It's a real playlist that you get
Mhm.
QR codes to in the front of the book. Those playlists are also available on Apple Music and Spotify. If you just look up John Zell mixtape or something like that, or mixtape a memoir, you can find the
Okay.
playlist that goes with the book. But it is available as an audiobook. It's available as an ebook, hardcover, paperback, all the things. And anywhere you get books online, you can find it. You can also go to my website, johnzell.co,
Mhm.
and you can get a signed copy of it.
Uh-oh.
So it's all there. But yeah, the question was
I don't
this
know.
this mixtape. So ask me specifically what you want to know about it. I got you.
I mean, the tracks. You okay? So you mentioned that it's not like linear, and it's not like this problem-free. Oh, I'm healed. It's all over
Mm,
now kind of deal. So this is
hmm.
like really your life in written and musical form.
Hmm.
So when did you lean into this idea of doing this? Was this a project that you said, "Hey, I'm going to do this," or did it just kind of evolve into?
Mm, yeah. So I knew the title and the concept before I ever wrote a word.
Okay.
I don't know when it came to me, but I was like mixtape because I was probably thinking about my identity as a mixed person, and then I was like,
Hmm.
what word has mixed in it?
Hmm.
Because we had the TV show Mixed-ish. I never watched it, but
Right.
there was like there's little things, right? And I was like, no, mixtape. Okay, music. All right. Um, literary mixtape. Uh, okay. And then that was always the title.
Okay.
And then when I went with the concept, I said, oh, this is fun. Like when you're making a mixtape for someone and then
Uh-huh.
like curating and like feeling like you're in the lab, like trying to make the perfect thing. Right up until the book went to the publisher, I was swapping out song choices and things like
Oh.
that to make it the best that for what I wanted it to be.
Mhm.
And I had a lot of fun with it. And even hit some hiccups because originally I had the quotes from the songs in the book,
Uh-huh.
and then got all the way up to like the last stage of production, and they were like, "You got to take those quotes out because copyright infringement." I'm like, "Y'all could have told the kid,
Right.
you know, beforehand, because I thought it was fair use." But it ended up working out because sometimes not explaining
Hmm.
um, why something is there is even better because it leaves the reader the opportunity to, you'll read something about, a scene or a series of scenes of me being in middle school, and you'd be like, I wonder why he chose Megan the Stallion's Not Nice at the beginning of
Hmm.
this chapter. And then you're going to read it and you're going to be like, huh, fuck it, bitch, I'm not nice.
Right.
I'm done with
Right.
being humble because I know that I'm that bitch. There's something about how music can enhance or tell a story because it is storytelling.
Right.
Um, but I love that my uh, immersion into music is also on display here because it's truly how I think.
Hmm.
So to write a story about me, I was able to make it as much dynamically me as possible. So um, that's the long-winded answer to that question.
Okay. Cool. How long did it take you to do this? go through this process?
So the writing of the book took me about a year and a quarter, maybe a year and a half. There were the bulk of it got written in, I would say, like maybe a 5 month uh, period of time between 2023 and 2024. Um, and the process of getting it to publication took an additional year and a half
Right. Okay.
because capitalism and the publishing machine. And so, um, yeah, I would say the writing process took about a year and a half. But I think, I feel like when I publish another book, it won't, the writing process won't take as long because I've learned a lot along the way.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't a quick turnaround for sure, but at the same time, it felt like therapy on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a masterclass in trial and error,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because when you do something for the first time, you don't always know exactly the path it's going to go. So
Right. Right.
um, I learned a lot, I healed a lot, I processed a lot. So
Do you have a favorite chapter in there yourself? A favorite part that you like to tell?
mhm.
Which one?
uh, it is track 34, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it. Yeah, track 34 is Rest in Peace, Captain Sabaho. The song is by Mayada. Um, and it was the hardest chapter to write. It is my longest track. I call them tracks, not chapters,
Mm-hmm.
but and mainly because I was going through the situation while I was writing the book.
Mm.
So I would say that situation kind of slowed down my writing of the book, but by writing about it, I did some healing,
Mm.
and what I went through was a very culminating kind of capstone sort of experience for what I had shared earlier in the book. But I wrote it before I went back, which
Right.
was interesting. So I'm the type of person, I'll do the hardest thing first.
Mm.
Um, a lot of people like to be, oh, I'll start with something easy. Mm-mm. I'll jump right on into it, and uh, it became my favorite track because it also showed me uh, who I've become. It showed
Mm.
me my value, and it really drove home that thesis of this book, which is reciprocity is
Mm-hmm.
essential, connection is wired into our existence, and
Mm.
love, like, and understanding, both receiving and giving, and also internally, is the whole point
Mm.
of what we're doing here. And the walkaway or the takeaway from this was the unreciprocated relationships are going to hurt us because they're not sustainable.
Right.
And so um, that story is my biggest reminder of you can have overcome all the things or whatever, but you always have to stay diligent on who you let in
Oh my
to your
gosh.
world
Yeah,
because people will be attracted to your light,
exactly.
and they want to feed off of that,
Yeah,
but they'll also fuck you up,
right. Yeah, the moment you show them your
and they won't take
humanness,
accountability for
not at
when they
all.
fuck something up.
Yeah. It's like the moment you show them your humanness, you weren't supposed to be that way. You weren't supposed to have that attitude. You weren't supposed to be so I don't want to use the word direct. You weren't supposed to. You were supposed to be the pushover and let me the energy vampire just take everything from you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So have you found that any of the people, I know you've already said that a lot of people from your past or people around are saying that you do too much. Have you found that anyone, is there anyone that may have been a part of the making of this book in your life that has come around and seen things different and changed their view? Your face, the looks.
Go on and finish the question.
Has there any relationships that have been restored from this book and in a healthier place?
So, um, the short answer is no.
Okay.
And the thing that I've learned is that, first of all, you don't write a book as a revenge tour.
Right.
Um, because that's, that's, as our friend Kendrick Lamar would say, that's hoe shit. You know, I don't have time to write something hoping you'll see it or whatever.
Right, right.
Um, the haters already watch everything that I do.
Exactly.
So, you
We're your
know,
biggest fans.
and the stay on everything I do and enjoy.
Yeah,
Because I'm talking about you and
right.
I'm fine. Um, I will say that what is more important to me because I'll say that a few relationships that I kept around with
Hmm.
boundaries, especially one in particular, could not withstand the accountability that this book brought.
Hmm.
And this individual said, I want to read your book. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I tell the truth
Yeah.
and they couldn't handle the truth.
Mm.
And so, and then uh, the pushback. And I'm like, ooh, and you know what you ain't going to do? Disrupt my peace or my joy. So here's where you can park it.
Right.
And boom. But more than that, I'll say there are people who were not involved in this story. There are people who read this story and saw their story in my story. And I think that is what's more important. I didn't
Right.
go on a revenge tour, um, but I told the truth, and people can resonate with, damn, people suck. But also, people could be like, you know what? Your mother is a lot like my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your experience of, or I have mixed race kids, and this has shown me some things to be diligent about,
Hmm.
or, um, you know, uh, finding your roots in a unique way. This, like, those who are interacting with my story and feeling loved, liked, and understood, they're feeling like they've been sitting down with a friend.
Hmm.
Um, that's what's more important to me than anybody who I've mentioned in here. Because, I mean, a few have come out the woodwork.
Hmm.
Some were coming out of the woodwork before the book was written,
Hmm.
or finished or whatever. And you were in the wood for a reason.
Right.
No shade, no hate, no, it's not, it's not hate over here. I mean, um, it's more irrelevance. Like, I don't think about you. So it
Right.
might, people say it's the cancer in me. I'm loyal for a really long time, and then
Seriously.
snip, snip, snip. And who are you? New phone, who dis? So, and I'll say the funny or the most interesting, and I was talking about one, but another person, I mean, my ex, the person I was married to, right as
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to hand this book over to the publisher, I was blindsided by a separation. So,
Yeah.
as you reading the book, you think, oh, well, at least he, eventually got married and everything worked out. If you read to the acknowledgments, you'll realize that the marriage didn't work out.
Yeah.
And you know, also accountability in that regards. I mean, I do in the book talk about how my ex's family was racist to me.
Hmm.
I talk about how my ex physically assaulted me,
Mm.
and all of that. And in the separation, it was kind of like, you need to remove those parts from the book. I was like, I won't. And so
Why?
they're
This is
there.
my story. You don't have the right to tell me how to tell my story.
Exactly. So what, you know, the walk away, it wasn't, this book was meant to be a wrecking ball to anybody. It was
Right.
simply a creative account of what was and what is. And if you're bothered by truth, then call the lady.
Yeah.
Call the lady, I think. Do get the little journal out, Militia style, something.
Right.
But I'm fine over here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much. And, again, a lot of people's creative works, it is for those to heal. If you're doing it from a revenge place, it's not the healthiest place and it doesn't give
Hmm.
the same results. So
Hmm.
I appreciate you acknowledging that and the Do you incorporate this type of stuff? So are you still practicing therapist?
Yep. Hmm.
And do
Full time.
you incorporate this? Is this the way you therapize people too with the
Yeah, I feel like the same person you're getting right now and talking to me is who my clients get.
okay.
We gone are the days of the code switch.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of respectability politics. Freedom is beautiful and it's great for
Yes.
the body and the skin.
Yes. Yes.
Do you see Nara Blemish? Looking great. And that's how you can be 53 and look like that,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, I use humor. I keep it real. It's human to human. It's not I have it all figured out and I'm fixing anybody. It's about what is your story? What uh what do you need to keep? What do you need to leave behind?
Mhm.
Uh what value is this adding to you to
Right.
keep doing this or not do this, right? Getting down to quality of life, getting down to freedom, getting down to truth, whether
Mhm.
it's our truth, whether it's somebody else's or whatever. And I believe all of us are stories.
Mhm.
Um, we're all stories, and we're all relationships. Everything comes down to stories and relationships. That's why when I introduce myself as a therapist and a storyteller. The
Mhm.
storyteller is present as the therapist. The therapist is present as the storyteller. But make no mistake, I don't write like a therapist. Okay, I'm a
Right.
human.
Right.
Um, we keep it real and we keep it fun over here. But also, who I am as a therapist is not what the blank slate therapist was that they wanted me to be back in grad school, because
Right.
I most certainly got points taken off for things like what you said before, your face. My face is going to do what my face does if you say something interesting or whatever. I'm going to look at you sideways. And that's part
Right.
of me. That's part of being unapologetic. But
Right.
yeah, stories are everything in therapy. I mean, someone comes into therapy, they're telling their story, right?
Right.
And I'm a bibliotherapist too, so I'll recommend a book to a client and read it with them, or we'll
Mhm.
we'll engage with a story, or I'll even, pull out my Bluetooth speaker and play a song. That because I told you there's a DJ up in here, there's a
Right.
librarian up in here, right? And so I'll play a song that it resonates with the thing that the client just told me, and then I'll give them my phone and let them look at the lyrics as it plays along and stuff like that, and then we'll talk about it, right? We can
Mhm.
always engage with the story no matter how big or small, and to be understood is so valuable
Mhm.
in the world. And I don't know, the one of the hardest parts is dealing with people who are too lazy to do the work to try to understand. They do the most with the absolute least.
Yeah.
um, and so
Yeah.
we trying.
Yeah. Well, can the listeners find all of that information even if they want to hire you as a therapist on your website? Is that all there, or is that just all your book?
Well, let me give the breakdown. I'll give the
Okay.
little spiel.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you want to learn about the book,
The book.
johnzell.co, yes,
Okay.
mixtape and memoir. So that is JOHN like Nancy, Z like zebra,
Mm.
ELLE.co. That's where you can find out about mixtape and memoir, all the links to where you can find the book, the all the different versions, things like that. You can get your signed copy there. You can look at reviews and synopses and all that jazz there. If you want to just connect with me and keep up with the general, like what I'm up to, what books I'm reading, what I got going on creatively, follow me on Instagram at johnzell_, same spelling. If you want to look into having me as a therapist, it's pretty easy to find me. Just Google John Zell Anderson Therapist. I am licensed in Maryland, Virginia, and Georgia in the United States. So if you live in one of those states and you're looking for a therapist, I might be able to help you. So if you go to panoramiccounseling.com, that's my website, and submit a contact form, or if you find me on Psychology Today or something like that, it'll get to me. And I'm a good communicator, so
Yes.
I'll hit you back. But those are some of the places I live online.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, again, I thank you for sharing your story. I can't wait to get my copy of the book. I can't wait to start reading it. I love music myself. I find a lot of my own story in a lot of music. So I'm just stoked about the way that you put this all together. It's like, what would my mixtape be? So
Mm,
yeah, I can't wait. Is there anything else? If you had to share one final thought with everybody listening, what would that be?
okay. I'm going to cheat and give them two.
Okay.
Um, the first one is a continuation of what I've been saying. You listener, um, and I'm saying something to you that I say to myself and then I would say to you, Dory, is that you're worthy of reciprocity.
Mhm,
When I say you're worthy of something, it means it's not earned.
mhm,
It's just by simply existing, you're worthy of it. Okay.
mhm,
If we're human beings are wired for connection, then you're worthy of reciprocity. If we need connection, it should be an exchange. Okay.
mhm,
Unfortunately, the world is ghetto, so people don't always act like they should. Okay. And
mhm,
so be careful about where you try to get that connection. That's the
mhm,
hard part. That's where you go on down to the therapy and read the books and listen to the music and all the things. But we ain't got time for that here. The second
mhm.
part is be kind to yourself and I'll do the same. Now, this sounds pithy. This sounds like a little sign off from a therapist, but hear me out. I
Mhm,
end every therapy session with that statement to my clients because I, as a person who just had a tell all book about how I grew up not being loved, liked, and understood, the hardest part was learning how to be kind to myself, right?
mhm,
That love, like, and understanding, giving and receiving is one thing, but that internal love, like, and understanding, ongoing work. You will never have to stop working at that. So being kind to yourself is a simple thing to say, a very difficult thing to do with repetition. So when I say be kind to yourself and I'll do the same, I'm not just saying that, but I'm reminding myself because no matter what I've overcome, no matter what I've been through, no matter you hear me and you're like, oh, he's so confident, he's so bold, he's so blunt, he's so what. Ha, I live with anxiety. It only takes one shift in the thing to have me over here talking to myself crazy. So when I tell each client at the end of the hour, be kind to yourself and I'll do the same, I'm reminding myself several times a day, hey, be kind to
Right,
yourself too. You're
right.
worthy of reciprocity. You're worthy
Right.
of love, like, and understanding. Because we all need those reminders. So I'm gonna leave them with that. You're worthy of reciprocity and be kind to yourself, and I'll do the same. Boom.
All right. Good. All right. Well, you heard him. Be kind to yourself, and he will do the same. We thank you for the work that I thank you for the work that you do,
Mm-hmm.
and appreciate you sharing your story with us. So I want to thank all the listeners listening to Don't Ask Me Shit, where the truth might be uncomfortable, but it will set you free if you're willing to do the work. If something you heard here today hit home, sit with it, process it, and decide what you're going to do to change. And remember, you can ask Coach Dory anything, but if you're not ready to do the work, don't ask me shit. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs a real conversation in their life, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.